Okay, today is Saturday, the 30th of March 2019, and I have with me a very eminent personality. He's going to reveal much of himself and this village of Esmeralda. And we are in the location of, and I'm going to switch you over to him. So what is your name, sir?
Selwyn, Samaroo.
Okay, and we are, what is the address of this place?
This address is 61 Esmeralda Road, Williamsville. We're not directly in Williamsville, but it's the province of Williamsville.
Okay, so when were you born?
I was born on the 20th of January, 1969.
Okay, can you recall how this village was when you first knew yourself?
I think the best way I can describe it was beautiful, pristine, virgin forest,
Okay.
sugarcane, lots of sugarcane fields, lot of camaraderie amongst the villagers, rivers, beautiful rivers, streams. There was a pond that sort of connected. It was the hub of community activities. It was not too far from where I live.
Okay, you spoke about a reservoir.
Yes.
Where was that reservoir?
That reservoir is a half of a mile from where I live, roughly. And that reservoir was the major source of water.
What's the name of the reservoir?
Well, it's called the Morochal Reservoir.
Okay, and you spoke about rivers. Did that reservoir supply water to the rivers or created the rivers?
Definitely. The reservoir was a constant source of water for the rivers. And as a result of that, it aided in the fishing population, and it assisted the farmers to irrigate their fields and so on.
Okay. But what happened to those rivers?
The rivers eventually closed in because of sedimentation as a result of quarrying that took place with the TCL operators. And of course the reservoir is no longer functional, it's dead, it's dried up. We were told that the main water vein was cut, water has been rediverted, and the water table is no longer.
But how did it happen?
Quarrying, it has as a result of more the TCL's desire to export more crushed material and to manufacture more.
But where the quarry is, or was owned by TCL, or is it owned by TCL?
Yes, the entire land, all of that land is deemed
So
TCL.
what they were excavating or grading?
Grading, excavating, crushing, cutting, a number of
and they
quarrying
were transporting the materials away?
Cars, trucks, heavy trucks.
Okay, so those materials...
actually sent to Claxon Bay to produce, to manufacture.
But how many rivers were there?
Well, there were two main sources on either side of the road, the valleys. One to my right and one to my left over the road. One adjacent that
When you say the road, what road it is?
the Morochal Esmeralda Morochal Road, and then the Esmeralda branch road that leads to Whiteland, Tortuga, Coruscant.
So on either side of these roads, there were...
The rivers ran
Two
between
rivers.
the roads.
Okay, there are two valleys then.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what can you say about the rivers during that time when you were youthful?
Refreshing, beautiful, clean, fresh water. The rivers were used for drinking, for bathing, for washing, all human activities, worthwhile human activities.
Was there any pipe-borne water then?
There was a couple pipes. I remember two in particular. One about a mile down, or let's say about 3/4 of a mile down, and one was in the backyard of I wouldn't say an affluent family, but a prominent family in the community.
But did the people go and fetch water from there?
People, sometimes we would go to the tap, the pipe, but the pipes, there was never a constant source of water in the pipes.
They used that river water, was it pure water?
It was potable, it was clean, pure water. It came straight from the reservoir, and of course, there was a perception that spring water is always better, and
so people used that to cook and
it was used to
bathe
cook
and so on.
and to bathe and so on.
But did people bathe in the river itself?
Oh, definitely. All of the young people would go there, and mothers, fathers, people would go to the rivers at different junctures because the river ran along the people's property.
But how long was the river, I would say?
I would say the rivers were a couple miles long.
And it went, it joined another
Well,
river?
yes, the river fed into the Guaracara River, which is a main tributary in the Southland.
Okay. But people fish and so on?
Yes, I distinctly remember fishing in that river.
Okay, you spoke about a forested area.
Yeah.
What did they provide, the forest? Provide
One
what?
thing, there was a lot of wildlife.
Okay.
People in the back here, what is called the Delphis musapial, the manikou.
Yeah, okay.
People hunted manikou.
And what about the other creatures?
Well, more manikou and iguanas,
Gutties.
gutties, they are gutties.
And deer and so on?
I can't recall if there ever been a history of a lot of deer in the community. There are deer, deers, but not in those days. That it never stood out as a main source of wildlife. But the flora and the fauna, the birds and the wildlife were pretty
But
dominant.
there are a lot of birds and
A lot of birds.
Now
as a
I'm
result
talking
of the river.
now. Okay, let's go to the houses. The houses were where? Where were these houses? Were they at the side of the road, or they were in traces?
Some of
or-
these houses were along the road, at the side of the road, as is now.
Yeah.
Others were in tracks and trace into the bushes because people lived. These were very rural village setting.
Okay. And can you describe? Well, of course, houses vary.
Yeah.
What were they?
These houses varied. One thing if I say that, I can say very few houses, if any at all, were painted. Most of the homes were wooden. They were galvanized roofs and carrot roofs.
But what? They were carrot roofs.
Yes, thatched roofs we call it.
Okay, thatch roof. Okay,
Yes.
but how many?
I recall distinctly there were. In my mind, as a child growing up, I recall about 3 or 4 distinct large carrot homes. One by, not too far from me, the Ganga Prasads. One by the Bagwat family. My father had one, and most of the farmers who rear cows did not have the money to purchase galvanized to build roofs in those cow sheds. So they used carrot and
Okay.
carrots.
So you would say most of the houses were made of
Most of
the roofs
houses-
were carrot roofs?
Well, from the poorer people, most of the homes, yes.
Okay. And how people, during that time, people were cooking stoves? and so
Yes, people used kerosene stoves. I recall there was a particular type of kerosene, 1 burner and a 2 burner. So it was a gray and blue kerosene stove. And people cooked in firesides and chulhas.
But those were the well-to-do people who...
Well-to-do people who cooked in stoves. The poorer individuals' homes will use firesides and chulhas. We had chulhas and firesides.
What about beds and so on, sleeping
People
accommodation?
slept in piles, I recall.
And
We
the-
slept in piles. People had beds, of course, but not most because of the amount of large families, and the amount of children that lived in a home. We had these rice bags that was converted into mats called piles, and people slept in those.
And what about coverlet and so on, blankets or whatever?
Well, we always covered with proper blankets. I never recalled covering with bags, but we
Okay.
slept in piles.
Now, how many brothers and sisters you had in the family?
Well, my particular instance, I got 5 brothers and 2 sisters, 8 children. I am the 7th of 8 children.
And how large was your house?
Our home, our first home, and the home that I grew up in, I would say about 25 by 25.
How many rooms?
We had 2 bedrooms.
But those, the roof was thatch roof?
Well, it was initially a thatch roof, and then my father eventually got built a galvanized on that roof.
Okay, so give me a little background about your father.
My father was a very simple man. He was a farmer for all intents and purposes. He grew up right here in Esmeralda. He was very intelligent. I spoke to several people who knew him back in his days, and while he was at the primary school, the Riversdale Primary School, he was appointed what was called a monitor, and those fellas actually eventually became principals and so on. But my father was of a very poor family, He had to work in the cane fields and in the fields planting tomatoes and corn and peas. So he could not continue to develop himself professionally. But he was a truck driver. He worked taxi. He eventually worked at Caroni 1975 Limited in a department called USM Traffic. He drove Tasca trucks. He was a very hard-working, studious.
Okay, let's now go to you yourself, your educational development and so on. Which school did you attend?
I attended the Riversdale Presbyterian School.
Until what form?
Until
Class,
Standard 5, where I passed the Common Entrance Examination and went on to the Tabaquite Composite School, was then a 5-year.
And from there, what did you do?
From there, I stayed out of school for a couple of years. Then I went to the Open Bible Institute, where I pursued a degree in theology.
Okay.
First degree in theology.
And did you preach at all?
Yes, I did.
Were you ordained as a reverend?
I was ordained.
In which church?
What was called, there are different levels. Ordination is the final level. I obtained what is called exhorter's license, which was the first stage. There are 3 stages till licensure, and that was the first stage. It was during that stage I felt compelled to pursue higher education in theology, and I went abroad to the United States of America, in which I studied a Bachelor of Science degree in theology. While I was in America, while I was in college, I fell in love with political science, and I also did a double study in political science.
At the same time?
At the same time.
But the principal one was theology.
Theology.
So political science was just a supplement.
Yes.
So after that, what did you do?
Well, after that, I pursued a master's degree in public administration at the University of Tennessee. Whilst I was doing my master's degree, I got word that my father had suffered a heart attack, and I could not return to Trinidad immediately because of number one, I couldn't get a flight in time, and secondly, I couldn't abandon my studies.
But you came.
My father eventually died
before
while
you
I was in the
arrived.
plane, before I arrived.
Okay, so that sort of halted your study for a brief period?
It did for not for very long, because I went back and continued. Okay. What it did, it halted my grieving process, and it affected me later on, because I wasn't able. I had to get back to college with a high intensity, intense studies.
So, what course did you do there then?
That I did my master's in public administration.
So now, having completed your theological course, right?
Yes.
And you moved on to do masters.
Yes.
In what subject is that?
Public administration.
Okay, and that you finally concluded that?
I concluded that, but before I concluded that, I was offered a position at the city of Chattanooga with Bob Corker, who's now Senator Bob Corker in the U.S. Congress. He was the mayor of that city, and I got a position there as a policy analyst. And
were you trained in that field, policy analyst?
Well, my studies, not necessarily. My studies of in political science helped me some, but it was really on-the-job training.
On-the-job training.
Yes.
So you had left that job, I would assume?
Yes.
To do what?
I had to leave that job when I got word that my brother was terminally ill. My mother had also suffered a stroke, and I had to return to Trinidad to look at my brother's condition.
So you abandoned your job there?
I abandoned my job.
So you came here to look after your mother?
Yes.
Okay, and she finally died?
She died eventually, and my brother died.
Okay, at the same time, but what did you do after?
Well, when my mother passed away, I reapplied to the University of Tennessee with a view of completing a doctorate in education. Okay. And I got accepted with a full scholarship. And I left Trinidad and I began my studies in August of 1998. No, it was 2007, sorry. 2007, 2008. Yeah. Before I left, if you look at those trees you're watching there, I planted those trees in the height of the crop season.
You mean those, what trees are those?
Those are cedar trees.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many acres did you have in the plant?
200 trees. I planted those trees.
How many years ago?
That was in 2008. I took a month, I planted those trees, and I left the country.
So that, and when you came back, they were,
They were grown. Those
bloom.
trees, that's my retirement plan.
Okay, okay. So when will those trees mature?
We were told they were 10 years, but I'm not going to cut that. That's going to remain there until the next
Okay.
generation will reap that.
Okay, okay, okay. Now you had gone back. Did you return at all to?
Yes, I
to the
did. I
work?
returned to pursue my doctorate. While I was there, I was offered a position as an adjunct professor of world politics. I taught in the political science department. And in the university setting, you know, there are several courses in world politics. I ended up teaching all of the courses in world politics because of the amount of students that tried to get into my class. I taught, I would say, per semester, I taught about 300 students by myself. And I graded those papers, and I was doing my doctorate at the time and a law degree at the time.
Okay, all right. So that that professorship that you got there, did you maintain it? Did you actually remain there, or if you did,
I
for how
thought
long?
I'd remained there for 5 years, roughly around 5 years, I would say. In 2012, close to 5. In 2012, I received a call.
Okay, so that you came to Trinidad
Yes,
and you were to
Accepted
take up a
position.
position of
judge of the
judge in the
industrial
industrial
court.
court, and you functioned in that capacity until when?
Until 2018, February of 2018,
About 6 years.
6 years. Yes.
So your contract, you went on contract, that has expired.
Yes, all of the judges, on contract.
Okay,
Well,
so
5-year contracts.
so what do
was
you do
extended.
now? What are you doing now?
Well, I'm currently the manager of industrial relations at the Southwest Regional Health Authority. And I am there working in the Human Resource Department, in IR department. I've got 5,000 employees that I count, that I supervise, 40 clinics, 3 hospitals.
Okay. Well, you have done a fantastic. I mean, your ascent in the academic world has been phenomenal. But you started off as, in fact, I think I'll just say something about you. I have known you since the days when I used to be working at the magistrate's court as a justice of the peace and clerk of the peace. You were then a clerk.
Yes.
Attached to which lawyer was it?
Shashri Prasad.
Sashi Prasad, and then you were well dressed as a young boy. Well, we have right, I knew you then. And surprisingly, by chance I met you. I went to do a matter in Port of Spain,
Yes.
and we came together, and then you told me you're a judge.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and the focus here now is you are one of the persons who emerged from this village, and I think I should give you some sort of exposure, because I'm writing a book, Guaraka, the neighboring village, and which is an adjunct to this village. So I thought it was necessary for me to get some information about this village, and in so doing, cover your history, your personal history, and I must commend you for having displayed academic prowess. I admire you
Well, thank you for
from
considering.
being a person that came from the, I would say, the poverty.
Yes.
I know your father.
Yes.
You grew cane, you slept in bag
I used to go to school bare feet.
and barefooted.
After Riversdale School, I went.
And then you taught in a university,
Yes.
and you were demanded here.
Yes. I think one part I left out, so that I also teach until fairly recently. I taught at Cipriani for 5 years, Labour College.
Oh yes, well that is another,
Yeah, so
for 5 years.
yeah, I've been teaching at Cipriani Labour College. In fact, while I was a judge, I volunteered. I did not accept a salary.
Okay.
My services at Cipriani, and I teach a host. I think as one of the few part-time lecturers, I teach more courses than most persons there.
Okay.
From philosophy to political science, industrial relations, law, and all that.
So, okay, you just mentioned the word law, but did you do law?
Yes, I have my legal practice certificate from the University of Staffordshire. I have my LLB with honors from the University of London. So I'm fully qualified as an attorney at law.
Okay. But not only as an attorney at law, you have displayed your ability, you have used it to, that is your intellectual ability, you have used it to your advantage and for the benefit of the people of this country.
Thank you.
And you are a proud citizen of this small village that is surrounded by bushes and looking all around there are trees. And you have a very cultivated forest here of cedar trees, and I'm
Yes.
seeing some teak trees.
It's beautiful. I love it down there. I've got a tree house.
Yeah, and then there's that tree house there. If I can see it here, oh, that is between those things there. And these are tall. Okay, I want to find out something also. Did you ever do farming before now?
Oh yes, I've always loved cows. At one time I had 16 cows prior to me leaving the country to go and do my my first degree, and I gave all to my dad, my father. I love my father, and he was my god.
What about your mother?
I love my mother too, but there's something about a boy and his father, you know.
Yeah.
My father was everything to me.
But do you still do agriculture?
I do. I got 8 cows now. I've got some goats and sheep.
Okay.
I rear my own chicken, my own eggs. And
But those animals are tethered, or you have them in an open pasture?
I've got both. I've got a little pasture down there, and I've also got them. They are tethered.
Okay.
Because of the hardship of grass. In fact, in a little while from now, I need to go cut grass.
Okay. Now, there's another thing. You spoke about a pond.
Yes.
Can you describe what that pond is?
That pond, in the days of its pristine glory, was the most beautiful thing here in this village. In those days, we took that for granted, of course. But in hindsight, when we look back, it was such a beautiful place where the community gathered for washing and bathing and fishing. It was the mainstay of the boys in the community. Around that pond, we had numerous guava trees that people would reap guavas and make jams. Beautiful, beautiful place. It no longer exists as a result of human activity, of course.
What is that, it dried
Well,
up?
a particular family has covered half of it, filled half of it.
Because that is in their private land.
No, it's not private land, it's a state land.
Okay.
Then it's just dried up and things of that sort.
But why did who created that pond?
That pond was created by the then Texaco, what was called the oil company. We had a series of name change, the Texaco oil company, so that they can use it for drilling purposes. There used to be an oil derrick there and several places around the village. There are still remnants of that in terms of crude oil wells. But that is where...
No, the river, the people bathe there in the river?
Yes, in those days people did.
The fish also, isn't it?
Fished and bathed and wash clothes. In fact, the river, there were beautiful stones inside of the river. The people would go and mothers would beat the clothes on the river, on the stone,
Okay.
the clothes. And it was a beautiful, beautiful place to be.
Now, how large would you think this community here that comprises, I would think...
I would say it covers about 100 acres.
No, the land itself is about 100 acres.
100 acres.
No, I'm talking not about the
Population.
land, I'm talking the population. Now, I wanted to describe something for me. I'm seeing 3 set of roads here. Am I correct?
3 set of...
Roads, a Mapipi Road,
Yes.
and you have
You've got
Esmeralda.
the Mapapi Road, the Esmeralda Road, which is referred to as the Esmeralda Trace. Then you've got the Esmeralda Road, which is the road that I live on. And they all lead to different places. From here, you can find yourself in the Gasparillo, to Whiteland, Tortuga, Brasso. These are main tributaries.
Meaning using any one of the roads.
Using any one of the roads.
But this road that your house is located on, that road ends. It cannot go any further.
No, this particular road cannot go any further.
Because why?
Because of the terrible condition.
The road has deteriorated.
Yes, it's a deteriorated. Right. These are those fellas. move away from the dogs. Just on this side. Right, tell those fellas move away from him. Get away from there.
Guys,
You don't make any dog make noise. And you're talking and here, you don't hear.
Okay. We have to end this interview. There's a lot of disruption. Okay, well, I must thank you very much. As I said before, you are a person whom a lot of people should emulate, because from a little boy, barefooted boy, going to, there's about 3 miles from here, walking to Riversdale, CM's Presbyterian School, sleeping on the floor, working in the land, cane land, then studying, being a lawyer clerk, doubling that, doing theological studies, right, and then up to university where you became a professor. You taught at our Cipriani Labor College, and then you became a judge, and now you are administrator. Well, I must commend you, and
Thank you.
I must thank you for giving this opportunity to interview you, so the world would know, out of this village, surrounded by bushes, high woods, few houses, here and there, you stood out as a great person whom everybody should admire. You did that. And in my book, on the history of Varakara, I think you would feature prominently. Okay? And I shall not take a photograph of you. Okay, well, I must thank you. But do you have anything finally to say?
Maybe I'm saying this not because of any personal aggrandizement, but when I returned home to Trinidad in 2012, I was approached by CNC3, a journalist from CNC3, and they came and they interviewed me in my office in Port of Spain, and they did a 5-minute feature in the main news hour on my publication that I did.
Okay.
And I had published a work in which I drafted a model of learning and teaching that is being used around the world right now.
Okay.
And it's kind of complicated, I'm not going to, but it can be found online.
Okay.
It's
That's
called
good.
pedandragogy.
Okay, well, we can take a photograph together. Can we step across there? Okay, this is the great. Can you announce your name again?
Selwyn Samaroo.
Okay.
Dr. Selwyn Samaroo.
Okay, you have a doctorate with you.
Yes.
Okay, I must commend you again. I congratulate you, sir.
Thank you.
Great man. We admire. Okay, thank you very much.